So, without a logic analyzer, there's only so much I can do. So, I'm set that board off to the side. I'm tired of screwing around. So, I want to work with this board that I just picked up, which I paid almost $100 for. And I'm hoping between these two boards, I can make one good one. The only thing I noticed right away is the Vart is leaking. It's got to come off. But also, that's broke. So, but that's not a big deal. I want to see if this board's any damn good at all. And hopefully, with this board, I can take some measurements or something to try to figure out what the hell's going on with the other board. But I'm looking more and more like that. I'm going to need a logic analyzer to figure that one out, which I can't afford right now and I don't have right now because those logic analyzers are not cheap, not for 32 to 64 channels, which is something I would need. Those 8 channel ones are all over eBay, but that won't do me any good. Alright, I got this board wired up. I got the battery off the board and cleaned up over here now. Verified a couple traces, they're fine. Got the scope set up, so here we go. Will it work or will it do the same damn thing? Whoa. So this board's doing something, okay? Now I want to check a few things. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Wow, that contention's doing the same thing. That contention must be normal. Hold on. 3, 4, 6, 8. Ah. That's the chip select line for the ROM. So it's accessing ROM. Okay, so let's take a look at the interrupt controller. Here. Yeah, it's doing the same thing. So I'm getting all the same stuff as the other board. So, okay. Alright, let's check the signal here. Yep, same thing, same design. There's a difference though. This does not have the PLCC chip for the floppy controller like that one does in the two PALs. Instead, it's got this custom guy over here. So I don't know if this is a newer or an older version, but it's the same thing. But look, PC chips. This is the actual name brand chip. So, this board runs, although it's stopping here and I don't have a beep. I don't hear any beeps. So, that's interesting. I don't know if that's the PC speaker or what that is. I don't know, but I don't have any. Yeah, it's actually launching. Interesting to learn. So it's funny because as soon as the reset lets up, it starts booting. But when you first power it on, you get that same FD. Alright. So, yeah, and then that light there is doing some stuff too. Where mine wouldn't. The other one wouldn't. Okay, what does this button do? I don't know. But what I do know is it's running. I suppose what I need to do now is I want to do some more checks with the digital circuitry just to see what my differences are versus the other board. Oh, it's got the two PALs here. Never mind. Yeah, I'm going to check the other board. Or check this board against what I remember from the other board. Because the other board will never enable the ROM. So I think there's one of these chips is bad on the other board. So the next test I want to do is I removed the 8042. I want to see if it'll run without it. It does. Okay, it's dying in a new place, which not surprised because it's not in there. But yeah, it's running without this chip. So the other board won't. So I know I can roll that out at least. See, it's all going. All right, well, let's continue moving on with our test subject. I put my keyboard controller in it. I took the one off this board, set it over here. Yeah, it still gets warm, but it actually passed the post test. So this was the last known code, and that's the current code. Actually, This chip's not even getting warm. It gets really warm in this board, but not this one. Yeah, that's a pretty strong indicator we've got bus contention on the other board, or something along those lines. Yeah, this is staying cold to the touch. The other board is getting warm. You know what? I need to investigate that. I've been doing some tinkering around, and the original CPU card didn't work, but mine did. So, however, I fixed it. There's a gouge in the board that I had to patch up and clean up, but... And that's the speaker connection. So this board works. Now, if I remove this card and I run this thing off the onboard 286, ow. That thing is in there hard. Ow. It's prickly. Hold on, let me pause the camera. I can't get it one-handed. There we go. Pitch is lower because it's not executing as fast. So yeah, this board works fine, luckily. I don't know, I got a functional board, a replacement board. The sockets are broke, so I'd have to swap those anyways. I can actually put the machine together, but I don't want to give up on this board just yet. So I think this board might become a spare parts board, possibly. I don't know yet, but in the meantime, I think this last-ditch effort, because like I said, I don't have a 32 plus channel logic analyzer to really do anything. I probably need more than that, honestly. If I want to watch all the control signals, address bus, data bus, all that, I'm probably going to need more. But anyways, I think what I want to do is I want to start pulling all of the logic chips and just test them one by one. I'm just going to get them all out of here, and then we can start going through them just to roll them out. Because if it's not these logic chips, then the only thing left is one of these 4 chips there being bad. These are drivers. These drive the RAM. But there's no RAM installed, so that shouldn't be a problem. This diagnostic ROM will run without RAM. So, something's wrong in this network over here. Or one of those. But only way to roll it out is to pull them out and check it all. Actually, new plan. I fought and fought and fought with this Heiko to try to get just even this chip out here. The simplest chip. And I went at it and went at it and went at it, and it just... I couldn't get all the solder out. Plus, all these leads are all bent over. So, I'll spend hours and hours and hours on this board trying to pull those chips. So, I think I might, since I got new chips coming in for the PLCCs, I might swap those out and see what happens eventually. But I got to get something working, and I bought that motherboard anyways, so I might as well just get it done. Also, the RAM sockets are bad on the other board. So I'm going to pull them off of this one and hope they're good enough. And hopefully I can get those removed. We'll see. But yeah, I very rarely run into problems using the Heiko, but this one I just could not get it. So I just soldered it back in. Luckily, the SIM sockets are much easier to get off this time. Just a lot of connections. I got to change them out on the good board because the tabs are all broken off. So yeah, I'm going to pull all that out and get that done. And I got to change the feed over too. And I think I can use that board and then just put this in my parts bin, or at least until the chips come in so I can swap them around. If it still doesn't work with these chips replaced, then I'm going to have to either put it on the back burner or get a logic analyzer or something. Just spending the $100 was quite a bit for the replacement board. So I've put a ton of money in it, and I don't have the kind of money to drop $1,000 on a nice 64 channel logic analyzer, which I could really use, but yeah, I ain't got that kind of money. So I'm just gonna have to wing it at this point. So moving right along, we're gonna get the other board done, hopefully. First one came out really easily, but the second one I had to fight with it. Turned out that stupid tool clogged up again, so I had to grab the whatever the hell this thing is supposed to be used for and clean the nozzle out. They say this is a cleaning bit, drill bit. That is not a drill bit. That's a stupid flat. But yeah. Anyways, so I got that done. Now I just got to go get the good board and swap them out. I'm gonna put. I don't know if I'm gonna put the old ones back in this board. I'll probably leave them out and then just put the standard 1 MB back in here to at least get this board to run when we get to that point. And here's the other one. As we can see, the tabs are completely busted off, so unfortunately they're grouped together as pairs of two. So can I buy those new? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, those being broke, I have to change both sets. Perfect. The SIM sockets are now replaced, and these are still in good shape. These are the ones that are broken. So yeah, right there. She's toast. Alright, well, I'll look around online and see if I can find those. And the reason why they're angled, well, you can get straight up ones, but the reason why they're angled is, look. This ISA sockets, some of those boards are so long, they'll smash into the RAM. So, yeah, you don't want the boards just coming out and bang right into the RAM. So, yeah, that's why they're slanted like that. So, I'd have to get slanted slots. I can get them straight up, but then I can't put long cards between here and here. They can only come out to there. So these two would be the only ones you could use for long cards. So yeah, that'd be kind of limiting, especially with old school ISA stuff. So anyways, that's done. So that will allow me to max out the RAM to like 4 megs or 5 megs or something like that, which is what I think I had back in the day. Now the only thing left to do is to put this I/O plate back on here, or on this one. I took it off the other motherboard. So and that's it. We can finally start getting this machine back together. I don't need the battery, but I may put one in here to keep the clock and keep the settings for the hard drive and stuff. We'll have to see how that works out. I don't know. Yeah, if I do that, I'm just going to run 2 wires off and keep like a little AA, AAA pack off the side. So I can slide the cover off, replace them, slide the cover back on, something like that. I want to make sure there's no voltage coming through here, because I don't want to charge the battery. I just want it to supply power. So, well, maybe. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I have a pair of rechargeables somewhere. Old AAA rechargeables I could probably use, but fuck, they're 20 years old now, so that's not gonna work. I'll throw them away. Yeah, I'm just gonna put regular batteries in. So we're gonna move on and get the machine put back together. First off, I want to see what I can find with the power connector and see what I can do about that first. So what I've done now that I got the RAM installed and all of that stuff, we got to do something with this battery. So what we're going to do is, R27 is a 330 ohm resistor, and it's actually in series between the battery positive and the rest of the circuit, like these 2 transistors, which switches the charging on and off. So what I'm going to do, instead of chasing down the circuit, I'm going to remove this 330 ohm resistor to kind of alleviate the drop a little, because I'm going to compensate with this diode. This is just a standard 4148, nothing special. So we're going to take that. Hopefully it won't be too much drop. And then we're going to take this nice Radio Shack battery holder that takes 2 AAAs to add in here. I'll just have this off to the side, like Velcroed in or something like that. And then I'm just going to take my Radio Shack Leak-O-Matic batteries and install those. And that should help keep the hard drive settings and all of that stuff on a power down. And I'll just periodically change the batteries as I have to. It's not a big deal. This is what I did with my 286, and it all works fine. So we're just going to proceed with that. So we're going to remove this diode, this resistor, and put this diode in exactly in that orientation, because the battery comes this way, so current's going to flow in that direction. And there we go. The diode's installed, positive lead's installed, negative lead's installed. The negative is completely gone, eaten away, so I ended up just soldering it over here onto this ground there. And there's the cover. So now I'll put the batteries in later, but now this will allow me to just tuck this away off to the side here or over here or something. and allow me to get to the batteries and have to change it if we ever need to. So now it's time to start getting this guy put back together, and we're going to test it. Got the motherboard anchored in, screwed in, everything's in, power's in, I got the front panel controls in. No drives or anything yet. I just want to see if it powers up. I just plugged the power in, so here we go. Nothing. Oh, there we go. I thought it was going to complain to me because there's no video card installed. So we got a double beep, so it's posting. Now we're ready to move forward. So I'm going to grab the VGA card and the monitor, and we're going to see what that looks like and continue on from there. Well, here goes nothing. Will it work or will it not? Whoa, here we go. Keyboard failure, checksum error. Not surprised. How much RAM does it pick up? Yay, all 4 megabytes. Good. Okay. Alrighty then. So we are fully functional. I'll probably have a Cliff Notes video following this one that shows me repairing the board from that was the other board when the parts come in. And I get all this stuff to be able to do that. But on top of that, you know, I want to check all of those capacitors like I said I would. But for now, though, we need to focus on getting this machine back together. So I think while I have this machine apart, we should do some upgrades. So I want to get it back to my configuration, or close enough to my configuration that I had when I was a child. So what I had back then is I had a creative CD-ROM, which I can't find, and the ones that come up tend to go for stupid money. But it had a creative CD-ROM. It was either a quad speed or an 8-speed, I don't remember, and I think it was the Sony version or the Mitsumi version. It was one of the two. I don't remember exactly which one. And it obviously it came with the sound card as well. Now, I don't have that set up, but what I do have, though, is I have a couple of cards I want to put in here, and I have a CD-ROM drive that I want to put in here. We only have a single IDE channel, so first thing I need to do is get that out, but I do have the battery container mounted in place now. I have a piece of 3M VHB tape in there, so now I can just slide this cover off, put my batteries in, and then put the cover back in place. You know, very terribly. I didn't leave myself much room to put the battery cover in now, did I? That was pretty smart. There we go. Done. That's easy to get to, so I can just slide it out, put the batteries in, slide it in, and the floppy drive sits there. So, I need to cut the factory zip tie for the first time since 1991. That's now garbage. And I gotta remove this, petrified rubber band. There's I don't know what that's for. I wonder if that's where the floppy drive went. I don't need that. Oh, there's another zip tie right here. So the reason why I'm doing this first is I can't put the CD-ROM drive in until I get, or I can't put the floppy drive in or the feature card in until I get the CD-ROM drive in, because the screws are protected behind that. So alrighty then, so there is the covers that cover the slot. So I'll have my CD-ROM drive in the front, and then this will just probably go right here. I think that's how that's set up. No, I think that goes actually on the face of the cover, but anyways. So now that we have the CD-ROM drive ready for installation, we got to do two things. One, I got to back up that diskette, but I want to take this drive apart and avoid the warranty, to inspect if there's surface mount capacitors in here and if they need to be replaced. So let's get that done because, yeah, the drive's new old stock, but it's just as old, so we got to check that out. So I took the drive apart and I'm noticing several things here. So first we have a belt, which actually is really good still, surprisingly. But I'm noticing the main board has a lot of custom hand soldering done. Like, that chip was hand soldered, that chip was hand soldered, these two weren't, but some other ones were. It gets crazier, so I flip it over and look at this side, and sure enough, there's a lot of hand soldering work done on this board. Now, with that said, it does use these caps that always leak. Like this here, these little surface mount sideways electrolytics. They all leak. Now, I don't see any evidence of it on this board because, well, it's new. It's not been used. There's not been any electrolysis effect going on. But it's a guarantee that they all will go because these are used in the other drives I worked on as well as the Sega Game Gear. The other thing I noticed, too, right away is the firmware. There's two chips here. There's that one there. But then there's this one here that's just sitting in there sideways. It's not even pushed all the way in. I'm dumbfounded, actually. So that's not hand soldered in. These two are not hand soldered in, but that one certainly is, and so is this one. So is this one. You see the flux residue. And this one here is also hand soldered in. I'm confused. Yeah, so see, is that SRAM? That might actually be, yeah, that's RAM. Never mind. That's RAM. I might just go ahead and pull that out and dump it just to have it on hand. Because flash memory does not last forever. That's for sure. Especially the fact that it's been unpowered all of these years. So yeah, let's get to replay. I got to see what caps I have on hand. See if I have what I need to replace those. Because, yeah, that's an issue. Alrighty then, now I have the new capacitors installed. I just used a couple of solid caps for the 12 volt filtering. But everything else has the low profile electrolytics installed sideways because we know clearance can be fun. So all that's done. None of these had any evidence of leaking, and none of them had that fish smell either. But I know these are the type that leak. So my thought process is, since this device sat unpowered all of this time, they didn't start leaking. But I know they will once they're energized and start being used. So anyways, I decided to just change them anyways. That way they don't become a problem shortly after using it. Because I had that issue with an Apple CD300 caddy load. It worked fine, but then the more I used it, it started producing that smell. So, done with it. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out that sideways flash chip and read it out and save the firmware. That way, possibly throw it on archive.org. That way people have it. So, unfortunately though, I went to archive this disk and it's got 3 bad sectors, including track 0. So I kept retrying it. Eventually, I got most of it, but I'm probably going to have to throw this on a Cairo flux or a grease weasel and dump it using magnetic flux. But yeah, the disk is bad. So, but it's made by Corel, the same people that made CorelDRAW. The generic version of this might be online already. We'll have to see. But I think I got enough of it. I got enough of the disk to be able to use it. Regardless, I'll take a picture of it and throw it on archive.org. Okay, so now we can put the drive back together. I think we're good. You didn't think we were going to get away that easy, did you? Alright, let's put that together, but I want to test this drive to see if it spins up and stuff, so we're going to hit this thing with power for the first time since 1995 when this drive was made. It has not seen power since the day it was manufactured. Here we go. Hey, I got a laser. Okay, so where's the button? Where is the button? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Oh, so it's buried down in there because it's got a tab on the face. So okay, where is the button? Oh, there it is. Wow, that thing shot out quick. Let's see if it'll read a CDR. It either will or it won't. So let's see. Picked it right up. No problems. Alright, so the drive is working. First time this thing has spun up since its manufacture. Alright, now we can put the drive together and we can finally move on. So now I have the CD-ROM drive installed. I did mark when I recapped it so I could remember. I did the same thing to this too. So that's done. I have this adjusted so it's flush with the face because there's a little bit of play in here. So now that that's out of the way, I can get the feature card put back in here. And I can start getting the other cards put in because what I want to do is not only put the interface card in, but I want to put this Ethernet card in because that makes the machine more useful in modern-ish times. And then I want to put this guy in. This is a Creative something another. CT 2600 or 2602? I'm not sure. 2502? It's an OEM card because you can see where it says HP front panel. But there should be a driver for this that works for DOS as well as Windows 3.11, which is what this machine's going to run. So there's my sound. There's my Ethernet. And then here's my CD-ROM interface. So between those three cards, I should have everything I need to get this thing complete. And then I got to put the two drives back in. I'm probably going to replace this drive with a bigger drive after I go through the original drive to see what's on it. So let's get her put back together. But I'm not going to put the lid on just yet until I know everything's good. So, oh, another thing I'm going to point out too is this card has a mono speaker connection. So what I might do is rig this speaker here, or I'll put a different speaker in here and connect it to this card so I can have internal sound. I got to think about that. We are slowly getting the machine back together. So I have the IDE cable routed. I just got to plug the card in. But before I can do that, I need to figure out the audio solution, a temporary audio solution anyways. So I've got a handful of these old CD-ROM audio cables, so I can probably cut one end of them off and just kind of finagle it down in there, the other end. And then at this point, it's deciding, okay, well, which speaker do I want to use? Do I want to use this one, which would be a higher fidelity, but the problem with this one is it's a 60 ohm speaker? Or do I want to use this one, which is an 8 ohm speaker, but it's a lot smaller, and it's more similar to what the speaker is that's in here. So, this one won't be as loud, but it'll probably sound better. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with it, I think. But for now, I'll pick this one first and see how well it sounds. And if it doesn't sound well, then I'll just pick a different one. I'll use this one. But I'm probably going to, like what I've done here, is just strap it somewhere in this vicinity because I don't have any long cards. So I don't want to get rid of the existing speaker because I need the PC beeper noise. If I had a small little buzzer, I could have put it right here on the board where there's a spot for one. But I don't, because otherwise I could just repurpose that speaker. But I don't have that, so we'll just make do with what we have. All right. This is going to get replaced later, but right now I got everything crammed in place. I got the cable routed, power, all that stuff done for the CD-ROM drive. It's over there. There's my card stack, which it's all screwed in at the moment. And that's what we have in the rear. I'd like to have a serial card, but so I can plug a mouse in, but I don't know. We're just kind of stuck with what we have at the moment. I might have one in my junk bin somewhere. I don't know. First things first, though, we have the speaker. I just kind of laid in here at the moment because I don't know how it's going to sound or where I'm going to put it. I might end up actually putting it here. I don't know. It makes it front facing if I put it there. So kind of like, I don't know. Maybe I put it here. I don't know exactly where I'm going to put it yet. Well, for now, I'm just going to kind of like lay it there in the moment, just so I know if it works. Okay, so now I've got to get my desk cleared off and get everything set up so I can power this guy up and start working with it. Finally, my childhood PC has been rebuilt. Kind of sort of how I had it back then, but not quite the same, obviously. Because back then, I actually had a Microsoft import card with an import mouse, which I don't have anymore. And the sound card, had the IDE connector that went to the Sony-based Creative Drive, which I don't have that, but I've got a very similar setup anyways. Alright, I think we're ready to fire this thing up and see what happens. So let's turn the monitor on. So we got to figure all that out, and hopefully, alright, now, there we go. Alrighty then. So we have power now at least, so I have to get it all configured. I need to make sure this cable is still good, because I think I'm missing green, so stand by. Not seeing all of my RAM anymore, which is weird. It's unusual. Hard disk 1 failed. Not surprised. 40, yeah, that's right. Base memory, see, that's an issue. Huh. See, PowerFlex floppy enable, serial port COM1, parallel port, default video. That's got to be changed. Color. Turbo mode. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Base memory address. Let's see. Page 012. So that's all. That's weird. It's not EMS memory size. Okay. So. EMS base address, base IO address. Okay. Oh, you suck. 4 megabytes. We're gonna go with 4. Okay. Okay. There's that. There's that. Keyboard, some of the keys are hard to hit. This is the original keyboard too. So first off, we need to F10 to exit. Yeah, we know. Oh wait, hold on. Why are we don't need password. So I ended up having to put another serial card in here because for some reason I don't have the adapter to go from this to DB25. So Alright, control failure, disk 1 initialization. Alright, so supervisor password. No, I don't want that. Security, no. Okay, let's see, EMS memory disabled. Needs to be enabled. F10. Yeah, we know. So I'm going to turn the power off. Make sure the voltage drain's off. Turn the power back on. We're going to see if the battery is holding a charge. Why is it... What in the world? What's going on there? Huh. Weird. I'm wondering if one of the cards I put in there is conflicting. Anything is possible. Hard disk controller failure. So I gotta find out what's going on with that. So I'll be back later. Alright, I've been pittering around with the hard drive a bit, and it turns out I had the IDE cable one row of pins off, even after I pulled all the cards out and everything. So, however, we still have a problem with it detecting RAM, and it depends on when, you know, anyways. So, it's not detecting any RAM. So, I don't know. It's weird. Something's definitely a problem there, but it should work now. Alright, so now we're booting. What do we have? Oh, that's cool. Sears. Let's see, what is in here? Sup. Let's see, ALR, That's what's in the BTR folder. B-Tree. I don't know what that means. So, what else is in here? Spin. That's probably spin, right? TPS. Hey, TPS reports. Let's see what's in the TPS reports folder. Whoa, yeah, too much. Lot of Sears stuff. I saw that scroll by. Yeah, lots and lots of Sears stuff. Okay. I only see one EXE in here, and that's the very first one, so TPS. Doing something. Oh! Sears Media Software. Enter customer ID and password. So, this must have been a point of sale machine. Let's get out of that. Oh, it's stuck in ANSI mode now. Yeah, I'm starting to notice there are no date codes newer than 93 on this machine. So, I wonder if this machine, because we saw the dead motherboard in the previous video, so I'm wondering if this machine died in service and they replaced it. Because I don't see any files newer than 93 on here, and we know how a lot of these retail establishments are, like especially Sears, where they've been running terminals all the way up into the 2000s. So they like to run this stuff and never change until shit dies. So that makes me wonder if this thing just died in service. So that only means the machine was like 3 years old when it died. So yeah, this was literally at the beginning of the bathtub curve. So it died early in its life. How it died, I don't know, but there's an ERR file. I'm not sure what that is. Com log. And considering this thing had a modem in it when I got it, I'm wondering if he dialed out and that's how this thing worked. It's entirely possible. So, see, TPS. We saw TPS, BTR, shell. What is SHEL? What does it do? Nothing. Just what it did before. Alright, DIR. It got rid of the ANSI mode. So, EDI util CD. Oh, this keyboard's shot. Yeah, this keyboard's done. Oh, hello. CD EDI utils. There we go. Reboot. I can pretty much guess what that does. Ask. Well, let's run that. I'm curious. Are you sure? That is the most useful program ever. Yeah, nothing. So, free RAM, what does it do? That corresponds to what I saw in the BIOS. Version. Nah, you stupid keyboard. I'm going to have to replace the key switches. That's useful. Conv arch. C-O-A-R-C-H. No. Fail. I don't know what that did. I don't need to do that. Let's see. Let's do something obvious. Oh, you stupid keyboard. Oh, that was pretty obvious what it did, didn't it? Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. Well, kinda. We still have the problem with the RAM, so... Hold on, I want to see what's in the ALR directory. Okay. Simply type the name of the program. It will automatically park the hard disk for you. A disk caching. So this is in the ALR folder. So, being that the directory was created in 91, this is the original drive to that machine. And no date code's newer than 93. So this thing died in 1993. So this machine was 2 years old when it died. 2 years old. So this thing has got almost no hours on it. That explains why everything looks so clean. It literally has no hours on it. Well, the replacement motherboards probably, you know. So this machine died in service. It literally died in service. So it didn't die from the battery. It died because the motherboard it died sometime in service. Took a dump. So park. No, not peak. Park IDE. E. Oh, it shut the hard drive off. That's cool. Alright, I think we're done. I'm going to figure out what's going on with the RAM, but first off, I'm probably going to back up that hard drive since I don't think you can get those programs anywhere else. But it's interesting to learn that this machine was used in retail. Shame that drive is bad. That bearing sounds healthy. Nothing wrong. Not at all. Totally normal computing. Oh boy. So now we're finally caught up. I have RAM. It's detected the RAM now. And what I had to do was I swapped all of this RAM from the other board. And I swapped the BIOS and it didn't make a difference. Which I didn't figure it would. But I just wanted to make sure. So I got it to work finally. And what made it work was I didn't realize in the BIOS... you actually have to set the extended memory. You got to type it in manually. It's not auto-sensing. I forgot about that. So a friend of mine reminded me of that. So once I did that, everything works fine now. I've got all of my RAM. So now it's a matter of juggling hard drives. I've got a distinct lack of IDE hard drives. So first I grabbed a Connor, and it wouldn't boot at all or do anything anymore, so I gave up on it. And I grabbed this Connor, and it's fucking screwed. It started this chip here. So you see the bubble in it? It died, so that drive's no good. So I tried this drive, and this drive does format and works, but the bearing is on its way out. It's super loud and grinding and doing all kinds of weird shit, so I gave up on that. So now I have this drive installed, which formatted fine. It is a 541 megabytes free. I had to use on-track drive overlay software to make it work, so I'll reboot and show you. So now this one at least will, you know, do its thing now. See, drive overlay, so it's going to work perfectly fine. It's wanting me to put an installation disk in there. So anyways, that is a 500 megabyte Maxtor drive. Of all the drives I got, only the Maxtor drive is the good drive. So, and that's usually not been my experience. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. I'm going to go ahead and start getting the cards back in here and getting this thing back together. Then finally, we can start getting some operating system software installed. All right, let's move on. Yay, I got the mouse fixed. I forgot to set the address jumpers properly on that stupid card. Now that we have Windows installed and the mouse working, I went ahead and installed the TAC driver for the CD-ROM drive, so it now shows there, which is trying to read the disk, which is not going to. So yeah, so we now have a CD-ROM drive, which is going to give me an error because there's no CD in there. So we'll go ahead and close that, and we can kill all of this. So there it is, TAC. Now the next thing I got to do is to get the sound driver downloaded and installed, and the video driver, because it's still on standard VGA. So let's see. Wow, they made it look like an actual CD player. Eject. Doesn't do anything. Wow, there's a what the? I'm not familiar with ancient UI anymore. It's been a while. It's not doing anything. About. Empty. Oh, there it goes. It's just drawing really slowly. Wow. Okay, so yeah, that doesn't work. I keep forgetting this is a 3D6. Let's hit the power button again. There we go. That's cool. Okay, so we have all of that installed now. Let's see, what else is there? Hey, let's play a game of solitaire. Oh. Let's move you there. Okay, we're done. That's about all I can handle with that. Boom. Rip. Okay, so that's done. Now I've got to get the sound driver and all of that stuff. So I've set this guy to LPT1 and COM1. I disabled the onboard, but I will turn it back on as LPT2 COM2 maybe, or I just won't turn it on at all. It's not that important. I just don't have anything that uses 25-pin serial. So that's what this is for. So this computer's been going pretty good. I got IRC installed, which I'm actually connected on the internet right now. Bridged over to Discord at the moment. So I can minimize that guy, get it out of my way. Kill DOS, or this, yeah, this friggin' file manager. I did get, oh, let's see, I got the Sound Blaster working. I have, let's see, yeah, the Sound Blaster now works. All of that's detected. Now, what I don't know is, yeah, anyways, so, yeah, I got some bloatware installed, Internet Explorer. got Office installed, which may or may not run because I have IRC open. There's only 4 megabytes of RAM here, so network drivers are installed, obviously, because I mean we're on the internet. We're in the Retro Electronics Repair Discord, so which is my Discord server. So that's all good. And let's see. Managed to get an FTP server installed, or well, client. So we're good there. I think though, let's see, control panel. I think I want to pop into the EMM386 because I don't know if it feels like it's running on virtual memory because the more shit I installed, the slower this machine got. So, and nothing's running except for Office. But yeah, she's pokey. Oh yeah, there's an internet function here. Interesting. Internet Explorer 4 must have put that on. Virtual memory. Do we have virtual memory? I bet we do. Yep, thought so. Yep, we have virtual memory. Okay, so that's what I thought. I do not remember with Windows 3.1 how to see the amount of memory that is being used. Close that out. Close that out. Yeah, it feels like it's running on virtual memory. And I'm pretty sure the clock is still holding its time. Yep. It's good. That's the current time and date. Yep, that's correct. So it is definitely working. Okay, so we're all good there. Calculator. Let's calculate things. Alright, we're done. Okay, so I think I want to wrap this video up now. I mean, I got everything set up, everything's working. Mouse is working. I got it on the internet, everything's good, so yeah. Now I got the sound working too through the speaker. I gotta get that mounted in there somewhere. I gotta get this thing put back together. And I think that's gonna wrap this one up. It's all back together now. Simple startup. That's the one thing I don't like. The caching is using 1 meg of RAM. It's ridiculous, and the problem with a 4 meg system is it makes Windows 3.1 run very poorly because it's bouncing off the virtual memory because it needs 1 meg just for the cache. 2 minutes in so far. Takes a bit to start up. I got a lot of stuff installed on this machine. And there we go. Now we're ready for use. That only took about 3 minutes. Only. How about a little bit of Visual Basic? A little bit of vintage programming. And actually, got a lot of extensions. You can hear it just bouncing off the virtual memory because it's all being occupied, all the physical memory is being occupied by DOS. That 1 megabyte of cache for the CD-ROM drive is kind of a killer. I don't think it's necessary for a 386 anyways. Let's kill that. Not exactly fast, but that's fine. Double click is not very responsive on this system. And there we go. Hello. Alright, I think we're done now. Or at least done with this machine at this point. We can finally wrap it up. I'll probably do an addendum to this one that shows me testing the caps and fixing the other board. But I think I'm going to call it for the actual series of this particular machine itself. So, anyways, yeah. Thank you for watching. If you have a comment, please feel free to leave one. Until next time, guys.